Good morning. Hope your day is off to a great start. Ours is here in the 3+U studio, in part because it can't be summertime in the Tennessee Valley and not have your kids outside playing, going for walks in the woods, maybe with your dog. And if you are in any way normal, chances are they come back inside with a bit of poison ivy. What are you to do? Dr. Chelsea Ryan joins us this morning. She is with CHI Memorial's Chattanooga Integrative Medicine Associates. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you.
So typically, I would say this is a terrible conversation to begin a television show with, but the truth is I'm in that camp of people, Dr. Ryan, who seem to be the magnet for poison ivy. When I get it like crazy. So I'm always interested in what I can do to get rid of it.
You and my husband, it seems like he could maybe walk by it and the next day he is just covered. So yeah, I unfortunately, it doesn't really affect me, and I've walked in it a few times, so I'm just going to count my blessings for now.
Okay, so let's start with that whole thing. So if you feel like you are a target for it, you're not imagining things. There really are some people who are more prone to having a reaction than others.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just kind of how your body reacts to it. Now, someone like me maybe later on will develop a sensitivity to it. So there's just different sensitivities your body against the oil called urushiol that's found on poison ivy. And so it's not spread. I was going to touch on this. It is not spread from person to person. It's really on the oil of the plant you'll brush up against, and it'll be on the skin. But different parts of your body will actually react to it at different times based on like absorption. Or if you get some of the oil trapped under your nail, you can actually spread it along your body.
Okay, so because I have tried to pick up over the years on what I can do to have it make sense to me. So if I heard you correctly, let's say you're out pulling weeds. That's a typical thing for me, and you've got some poison ivy wrapped around a hydrangea bush or something, and you get a little bit of exposure on your wrist. Yes. Are you saying then that I'll notice that cluster of little bumps begin to pop up pretty quickly, right? Mm-hmm. Will they then, does that mean that the reaction is systemic, or will it spread to my other arm on my shoulder because I unintentionally rubbed that side?
Right, exactly. That would be the second part. So not systemic, but the sense of the oil may have gotten trapped under your fingernails when you itched, and then you went to a different part of your body, or without knowing you had the oil on your clothes or on a glove that you were using and brushed up against that. So the oil can get stuck to pets, clothes, gloves, gardening tools, unless they're washed with soap and water, and you could brush up against them and get that oil on other parts of your body.
To the point about washing your garden gloves with soap and water, the oils will stay on there for a long time, right? So even if you just take them off and think it'll be gone by next time I use them, that's not true?
Yeah, I would really recommend, I can't tell you how long it'll be on there, but I would recommend if you feel like you've gotten in contact with any poison ivy, just go ahead and be on the safe side and go ahead and wash those things.
Is soap and water, or are there better soaps to use than others?
So for your skin, my husband has used some soap that you can get like at Ace Hardware for your skin that he feels helps a little bit more. But really when it comes to clothes, regular laundry soap, or if you do soak them in your gloves in Dawn and let them dry out, that's fine too.
Okay. So I'm guessing where you come in, and I bet you've seen this a lot, is people come into your practice and they're just really covered and they cannot handle it any longer. Is that where cortisone comes in?
Yeah, and so if you have just a few little bumps and it's not keeping you awake at night, you can go ahead and use that over-the-counter hydrocortisone cream. However, if you're having fevers, I had a patient with a swollen arm, if it's on your face or your genitals or it's affecting your sleep, that's probably where oral steroid will come in, or maybe even a little small injection might help, because if it's really starting to affect your sleep, or it's getting on your face or in your eyes or things like that, then that's when you should really start some medicine. But things you can do before you see the doctor, if it's just a localized reaction like you were talking about, you can do cold compresses, cold water soaks, oatmeal baths, things like that.
Does scratching it make it travel?
So like I said, the oil could get stuck under, and then it could travel to, like, you could then put it to a different part of your body. But really, the scratching, the part that's kind of dangerous about that is that there is dirt often under our fingernails, everyone's basically, and so you can get an infection into the skin by scratching it, and so that's kind of sometimes where you get an infected dermatitis from that poison ivy.
I hate to be endorsing things, but there's a product out there called Technu. Have you ever recommended that to people?
I have not heard it. Have you used it before?
It's been a lifesaver for me because it's got a grit in it, and so that scratchiness feels so good, and the grit gives you that, but it's long lasting, and it's a wonder. Has been helpful for me. Okay, so what about the ounce of prevention? Are you going to educate people on what to watch for on their romps in the woods?
Yeah, so it's leaves of 3, let it be is the common thing. So you want to watch for those things. If you do happen to go through it, I would, finish out your hike, your walk, or whatever, but go home and wash up. If you know that you have it in your backyard and your dogs are kind of free-range dogs or pets, make sure that you're washing them regularly. And if you are sensitive to poison ivy, being careful about brushing up against them. Like I said, gardening tools, clothes, things like that all want to be washed. And if you are outside and know that you'll be dealing with poison ivy or going for a hike, make sure your pants are tucked inside your boots. Your clothes are like long sleeve, things like that. And just as soon as you get back, go ahead and unwash them.
Not to make you put your gardening hat on, but I know we're focusing on poison ivy. We do still have poison oak and poison sumac around here too. Are those also the leaves of 3?
So I know poison oak is the leaves of 3, but it looks a little bit different. It's a little less of a sharp tooth, jagged leaf. I forget what sumac looks like, so I'm gonna not do that one. But that was a good quiz question. Yeah, so those also contain oils that can be similar to poison ivy and cause those same types of dermatitis. So if you see those symptoms, and make sure you call your doctor if you have any fever, swelling, rash on the face or groin, things like that. Okay,
before I let you run, it is back to school time, getting there. You and your practice do see the whole family, correct? You're not just for adults?
Yeah, so we see ages 5 and up, and so if you have any children that you want to bring in, we would be more than happy. Or sports physicals, even if we're not, your physician and you need to get in for a sports physical, we're totally fine with that.
Okay, great to see you. I guess this means that your household, you're the one who has to do the yard work since your husband's the one who's
you
so
would think, but I just, make him put on some long pants and long sleeve shirt and make him get out there.
Way to go. Dr. Chelsea Ryan, thanks so much for your time this morning.
It's nice to see you. Bye-bye.
You can find her at Integrative Medicine Associates on Taft Highway at the top of Signal. 886-2004 is her phone number. Online at chimemorialmedicalgroup.org. We're back after this.
Far too often, people are being seriously injured and hurt because of negligent drivers distracted by their cell phones. If you've been harmed by a negligent or distracted driver, the law is on your side.